Hi guys, the Tories are not interested in improving the lives of ordinary people. That may not come as a massive shocker, but it needs to be reinforced for those who've been convinced by the right-wing media that better pay and conditions is a bad thing, that clean air will destroy cities, and the public services are a waste of money. As the new government plan to reform and hopefully improve workers' rights, the Tories are pulling the old "it will harm the economy" trick. But one such Tory was called out on that when he appeared on Times Radio. Have a listen to this.
Conservatives, you'll oppose them, but you did oppose the minimum wage, and that turns out to be a good idea. You've opposed in the past limits on working hours, people having weekends. That turned out to be a good idea. You've got to be careful, I presume, that you don't oppose things that actually turn out to make people's lives better.
No, I absolutely agree with that. And I must say we always get everything right in the past, but I mean,
we don't always get everything right in the past. You were against things. Then you realise actually these are good for people, but your party is not there to improve the lives of ordinary people. Your party exists to improve the lives of very rich people, to cut their taxes, to reduce regulations. Your party is not a party of the people, no matter what Boris Johnson and others say. It's a party for the richest in society. Now, when Labour brought in things like the minimum wage, it would have been very difficult for you to get rid of that. So instead you changed it and you called it the national living wage or whatever. So it's good that the Labour Party, when they're in power, bring in things to help workers, bring in things to help ordinary people. But it creates a floor that the Conservatives will try and break down through, but in many cases they can't. So, the Conservatives, if they had always been in power, do you think they'd bring in a minimum wage? Of course not. Do you think they'd bring in increases in benefits? Of course not. They're not a party of ordinary people. They're a party for the rich.
we have become fans of the national living wage. In fact, under our tenure, we put it up to record levels, £11.44
But you opposed them when they were first suggested.
Yeah, I say we've made mistakes in the past, and of course we're worried about that in terms of the impact on business. But these reforms, these 28 major reforms, have been ill thought through, and that's why you're seeing declining business confidence. And the CBI, Federation of Small Businesses, Institute of Directors, all these people are clever people who are experienced business people. You've got Labour coming along now saying, we know you've got it all wrong. All you business people, you got it all wrong. We can do it much better. The unions have told us what to do, and we're going to simply impose it on you. Impose it. It's simply wrong. It's ill thought through. It's going to cost jobs, and that's not me speaking. That's the Federation of Small Business, the CBI, and many others.
Okay.
These are really damaging reforms, ill thought through, and this is counterproductive in the mission to create growth, which will pay for all the other things you talked about earlier.
You have to take it with a massive pinch of salt any Tory that talks about growth. These are the people who supported Liz Truss. Now, and of course ran public services into the ground. Now, are there concerns businesses may have? Yes. But we have to always be careful that many businesses will resist change because it's an extra cost for them. Many times, businesses in the past would say, if you introduce a minimum wage, we're going to have to sack loads of people. Did they do that? No. So a good business is able to deal with these types of changes. If you want to have a happy society, you need to have happy workers. If people are working 0-hour contracts, if people are working hours, every hour God sends, and still not making ends meet, still having to rely on benefits, still having to rely on food banks, this is a serious problem. Now, some of the measures that Labour are planning to bring in maybe are problematic, but we have to see how they will work. But the focus has to be on improving the quality of life for workers, not focusing on profit. Because we've focused too much on profit. We've allowed businesses to run roughshod over people's rights. And remember, the Conservatives are there to strip away protections for workers, to strip away protections for the environment, to make it easier for businesses to make a profit, because that's the goal at the end of the day. It's not about protecting workers, not about improving their lives. And if we keep hearing this from research, if people are happy in their jobs, they're going to be more productive. So surely improving the quality of their lives, improving their wages, improving their conditions will feed into that. And then businesses will thrive because productivity will rise. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.